Hey everyone, Kyle Walker here. If you love cars, fixing things, or just want to understand your vehicle better, you're in the right place. I share hands-on tips, smart driving advice, and straight-up car talk without the fluff. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and stick around till the end. You don't want to miss what's coming up. Let's get into it.
When a person thinks about buying a car winch, it means that he is going to get stuck somewhere, and seriously. And it will happen in places where people do not walk and tractors do not meet, and you cannot expect help from outside. The question of choice becomes very important, because to stay with a car stuck in the swamp or mud in a remote area is a doubtful pleasure. Fortunately, there are many winches of various types and power on the market. The main thing is to choose the most suitable option. A mistake can be very costly in the future. Off-road vehicles require such a mechanism even more than ordinary cars. The fact is that owners of different types of Jeeps sometimes overestimate their capabilities and drive into completely remote places. In addition, most obstacles are not a hindrance to the SUV, and if it is stuck seriously. And it is impossible to pull out such a heavy car on hands. There is only hope for a winch. The principle of its operation is simple. The rope from the winch fixed on the car is stretched to some firmly fixed object, a tree, a stump, a stone, and then the rope is wound on the drum and pulls the car out of the pit, mire, and other troubles. Classification of car winches. All winches can be divided according to several signs: by type of attachment, by the design of the drive, by power or pulling force. It is quite realistic to find your own variant that meets all the necessary requirements. The choice of car winch begins just with clarifying these requirements, and only after that you can go to the store. Let's consider in detail all types of designs, in order to then choose competently. According to the principle of attachment, first of all winches can be divided by the most obvious sign, since their dimensions and weight depend on this. They are portable, stationary. The first ones are installed as needed on a special platform on the bumper, and they can be transported in the trunk. These are quite light and compact devices, but this is also their disadvantage. For a heavy car, they may be weak. And to install such a design, standing knee-deep in mud, on the bumper hidden in it, is also little fun. This option is for those who drive little off-road, and then carefully, and on a fairly small and light car. Stationary models are more powerful and heavier. They are installed on a special frame, which is welded to the front or rear of the car. Such a mechanism is always ready for use and convenient to use, but has a disadvantage for fans of driving on steep slopes. Protruding in front of the bumper, it can snag the ground. By drive in different versions of models, even one company can meet winches with a different drive: manual, mechanical, electric, hydraulic. Each of these types has its advantages and disadvantages, and their choice depends largely on the parameters of the car for which they are bought, and on the off-road on which to get stuck. Read also how to choose mats for the interior of the car. Mechanical winches. This type of winch is available in manual and engine-driven varieties. The first has to be turned manually, while the second is turned by the machine engine. The mechanical version with manual drive, in fact, is a simple gearbox with a lever, which must be rotated manually. Of course, this is a low-powered mechanism, capable of shifting a weight of up to 2,000 kilograms, and the best of them, up to 2,800 kilograms. That's not enough for the average SUV. On the plus side, it doesn't require electricity or an engine start. What manual winch to choose for the car? A purely personal question. It is necessary to focus on the traction it develops, and it is not very large. It is believed that the pulling force should be twice the weight of a fully loaded car. Therefore, this option is suitable only for the lightest of them. Mechanical ones are driven by the engine, through an additional shaft and transfer mechanism. The drum speed can be switched, but the engine must be started. If, for example, the car is caught in a river and the engine won't start, the winch won't work. Difficult wiring is another disadvantage. Although this design requires a serviceable and working engine, it is not a bad option: powerful, simple, unpretentious. Electric winches. Electric models are the most common and versatile. They are easy to install, easy to operate, and have a decent traction. They are powered by a battery, and the current consumption is very high, so it is quickly saturated. On the other hand, for recharging you can start the engine, and if it does not work, the winch will still pull out the car on the battery. But its capacity should be large, more than 90 Ah. The best car winch for you is likely to be electric, so take a closer look at them. But you should pay special attention to the attachment, so that it is not ripped off in the process of work and on waterproofing. Getting water into the design threatens to burn out the wires or motor. Hydraulic winches. Hydraulic models operate from a hydraulic booster or a separate hydraulic system, using oil pressure. They have more power than electric ones, but the speed of cable winding is low. This type is best suited for equipment already equipped with separate hydraulics, trucks and other equipment with a lifting body or attachment system. From the advantages, except for increased power, we can note the low weight and size, quiet operation, unpretentiousness. The disadvantages, apart from slow operation, are the demand for power steering. If its power is not enough, you will have to either choose another type of winch or equip the car with a special hydraulic pump. In addition, it will not be able to work with a stalled engine. Choosing a winch for the car. Now there are many different variants of car winches, so the question of which one to choose is not so simple. First, you need to decide on its power. It is believed that it should provide a force twice as much as the mass of a fully loaded car. Read also, the best additives designed for power steering on cars. Note, not the mass according to the technical passport, but the real one, with full tanks and normal load. Otherwise, there simply may not be enough power to pull the car. On foreign models, towing capacity is usually shown in pounds. So you need to be able to convert these numbers. 1 kilogram is roughly equal to 2 pounds. So a 6,000 pounds winch will provide the same 3,000 pounds of pulling power and will be good for a car with a GVWR of about 1,500 pounds. Niva, Daihatsu, and other lightweight vehicles. In order not to make a mistake, when the force is expressed in kilograms, you can divide it by 2 and get the weight of the vehicle, for which the winch is suitable. If it's in pounds, divide by 4. And vice versa. If the weight of the car is multiplied by 4, you will immediately get the required force in pounds, and it is necessary to take with such or more. Before buying, you need to make sure that the design will fit on the special pad on the power bumper, if there is one. If there are problems with this, then you will have to either look for something else or prepare a place for installation. You can ask the seller, perhaps they also have an installation service. This will solve a lot of problems. The most popular car winches. Manufacturers of this equipment is quite a lot, but deserve the trust of motorists in an extreme situation. Not all of them. For example, now a lot of inexpensive options of unknown Asian origin to entrust them with the fate of your car and even your own. Somehow not very reasonable. Now there is such a rating of car winches if you divide them by cost. Budget series, Stokrat LD and SD, Domestic Avtospis, T-Max EW, Come Up DV. Advanced series, Stokrat HD, T-Max X-Power, Come Up Seal and Seal Gen. Advanced models can be distinguished from budget models by higher power, improved motor protection from moisture and dust, increased distance around the drum, and advanced equipment. Of course, their cost is noticeably higher. By the way, the increased distance around the drum is a considerable convenience, not a whim. When the cable is hooked at an angle to the machine, it is wound on one side of the drum. If the space is large, it is possible to pull out completely this way, and then the rope can simply be released and wound flat again. If the space is small, however, the rope quickly clogs up on one side. You have to release it halfway, rewind it, and drag the car again. There is also a rating of cars, where for each there are recommendations on which winches are better suited to them. But here again, you just need to focus on the mass of the car and the pull of the winch, and the choice of a particular model from the list given will be very good. In conclusion, selecting the right car winch involves understanding your specific needs, including the type of vehicle you have, the weight it can handle, and the environments in which you will be using it. With various options available, from electric to hydraulic winches, it's essential to consider factors such as pulling capacity, line length, and additional features like wireless control. By taking the time to assess these elements, you can ensure that you choose a winch that not only meets your requirements, but also enhances your off-road experience. Remember, investing in a quality winch can make all the difference in challenging situations, providing you with peace of mind and the confidence to tackle any adventure. Thank you for watching, and safe travels.